Yo, what's going on, people? Let's do some analysis, trade update. Friday killed me, man. Friday absolutely killed me. I'm down 10% on the account. So 10% from 15%. So I'm still up 5%, but lost a lot of profits this week. But it happens. We move. I still think we're going lower. Mid to long term, still expecting lower prices, or not even mid to long term. In the short term, I'm expecting lower prices. I still think we can get down here. Still think we can take these lows. But now it looks like we're going to start attacking these highs here. These highs up here, and then these ones here. If we can get up that high. To me, though, it looks like we're seeing some sort of push to get buyers interested in the market again. I've lost all of my key levels. Did I delete everything by accident? Give me 1 second. Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, get rid of that. I don't know where that is, but get rid of that as well. Get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. Oh, we're on Ethereum now. Where's my shit for Bitcoin? There we go. Yeah, so still think we're going lower. I can see us taking out these highs. I can see us possibly challenging these ones. But yeah, I don't really see it that much. What I'd like to know is the midpoint, the mid-range of this weekly and daily level range here. So between 40 and 48k, we've got this area around 44k that I think should see some level of interaction now that we're trading above the weekly level. On the daily, we do have the 12 and 21 looking to cross over. If we can continue this bullish price action going into next week, starting to look at challenging the 50 EMA. If we break above there, then I would be looking break above there and 44k. I would be looking for the 200 EMA to be next, which is around 46k, 46, 47. So yeah, that's pretty much the bullish scenario for me. Another thing we can look at as well is let's just hide that, is this trend line. There's a trend line, I think it's from here to here, that we've just broken out of, which is nice and bullish. Yeah. Yeah, so nice and bullish. Go Bulls, yeah. Yeah, so on the bearish side, there's not much I can really say from volume apart from this sort of dip in volume around 44k, which is not what I was expecting to see. But yeah, that might just give more evidence as why I should be looking at 44k for a change in this current bullish market structure that we're getting. And then Yeah, really what I'm looking for at these levels is just the market to give me any sign that it's gonna weaken from the levels that it's at, so possibly on a 1 hour. Right now we're getting sort of consolidation around 40, between 41 and 42k, mid 41ks. And on the very, very short term, we could just be looking for a breakout of this price action here in a very short term. And on the longer term, so next couple of days and such, I would be looking at these highs, just price trading around these highs and how it acts around them, really, because you know, like we got before this pump up, we got the grab of liquidity from the buyers just before the market pumped up, and yeah, came through this 40k level. So I was looking at, oh sorry guys, I was looking at a break of market structure here to confirm sort of the change from this trend higher, and a swing failure coming in and getting the reversal, which we did get, but it was just all a fake. Obviously, I assume what happened here is that we got the confirmation of the swing failure, loads of sell liquidity came in, and then boom, took it all out. Was literally all of that volume was just what was needed to push higher, in a sense. So we could see similar things happen, in a sense that when we get up to these levels and then start showing weakness and larger volume comes in, we get that next move higher through the level, through 44 towards 48k. That's a possibility. But there's nothing on the macro side that gives me any reason to assume that this is a long-term bullish phase that we're going into. I still think we can sweep 30k, between 28 and 30k lows before we get a sustained move to the upside. So yeah, that's pretty much Bitcoin. Ethereum, similar thing. Not too sure about the EMAs for this. That's the 1 hour. 1 hour's looking good. Daily, yeah. So 12 and 21, similar thing, got the breakout. 50 EMAs, the next on the list. And yeah, we just have the range between 30 and 3300 that we're just trading with in now. I was looking at this about an hour ago, and it did look like the market was going to sort of hold around opening price, which would form a doji, which would be a sign of a reversal or continuation, as like what you can see kind of here. There you've got this move up, got a doji, and then continuation. Could be a similar thing we're seeing if it does close like that today. I don't think Ethereum's had a trend line break like Bitcoin has yet. If we look at this, we could make one here. I could make one from higher levels, which might more suit my narrative. Yeah, so we're just kind of playing with this trend line here. I wouldn't say this is well, it is a breakout here, but we're around the weekly level, so you never know. Okay. But yeah, so trend line breaks. We've got trend line breaks. We've got sort of lower period EMAs unbroken and crossing over. So similar to Bitcoin, what I would look for is just highs. Highs, where can the market push to cause pain? That would be the sellers from these levels around 3,200, 3,250, and the highs at around 3480, around 30, is that 3580? No, 3413. So let's say between 34 and 3500. Before we get sort of any reversal here. And we just have all of these. We have this daily level around 3,600, which could be the true cap of price if we get a sustained move up into like the 44Ks for Bitcoin. BNB, another coin that I got wrecked on this week. Yeah, shambolic still, I can't lie. You know, when you hear of sort of long squeeze, short squeeze, like all of those things, I was the one that got squeezed this week, man. It had to be someone though. So yeah, we got this long-term trend line, which has been broken, could be acting as resistance into these 440 levels. We've already had the run up and the push down. Let's just go on to the hourly just to see what that looks like. I wouldn't say there's any cause for concern. The only thing I do know is that Bitcoin has come back up. I'll go to a bit later on. Its dominance has sort of pushed up and reclaimed support. So that could be something going into next week. If we do find weakness in Bitcoin, it could really have an effect on alts. But yeah, nothing to worry about right now. BNB though hasn't been able to break this swing high. I don't think. So yeah, the sellers have come in. I know this line is not straight at all. I don't know why, but trend lines just don't want to be straight. Let's just draw a ray, man. So let's get this. Have these highs up here that they couldn't break through. But you know, we have a nice level of support around these levels here. So we could be looking at around 400 to get long to break these levels and trade around 440, which would be about 10% move right there. Interesting to look at. And then on the bearish side, I would be looking for sort of the market to not be able to trade back above possibly this recent support level that it's had and sell off from there. Sell off from there. This level being retaken as or broken and taken as resistance, and then continued move lower. If we look at the EMAs on the daily, we must have a similar thing to Ethereum, where the lower time frames have just broken and we're now sort of attempting to challenge. Yeah, so what I'd like to see on the bullish side is price above really 450 and this 50 EMA, and any sort of confirmation on the daily that this trend line is going to hold to the upside. That would be perfect. This daily candle on BNB looks weird though. That's pretty much that. Wonder if one got to target here. So one, no, 22 was a target. Could see some longs up into those levels there. I don't think so though. We've got the 200 EMA on the daily just getting hit right now. Could be a nice thing to get some sort of sell side liquidity and a push above before any sells. I think really the market is kind of in like a let's cause some pain before we actually do what people are expecting. So yeah, pretty much what I'm looking at for there. Price to come back and retest this possibly. If everything is still going up, I would expect one to still continue bullish. But as I was saying earlier, we've got dominance reclaiming support on Bitcoin, or Bitcoin dominance reclaiming support. So what's interesting to me, if I get rid of all of these lines, is that we got, so let's say November, was that when we made the high? We've got the low made 18th of January. This was most probably around where we started dropping off, and then we took a little dip, and yes, on Friday where we got that push up, we kind of come back down to this support level and bounced. So what I'm finding fairly interesting is that really I think Bitcoin is in control right now. We need to be looking at areas where it could find resistance and continue to sell off if we're looking at alts to long. But also let's just mark out the highs, because I feel like actually realistically it's Bitcoin dominance. I mean, I know people do trade it, but it's really just a measure of Bitcoin strength. So realistically, let's not worry about all of that too much. I just want to show that we have a clear trend going on here, or beginning to form in Bitcoin dominance. And I know the rest of the markets are fairly weak. S&P had a nice close to the week. You know, we've got support levels here which won't be able to break. We've got a close around this level here, which really doesn't mean anything. I mean, if we can hold we can hold this level here and continue higher, that could be bullish. Sorry, if we can hold above there and continue higher, that could be bullish to make new highs, but which is possible even in a bearish market. But we've got possibility that the pound continues to sell off, which isn't fairly risk on for me. It's fairly risk off, kind of a swing failure on the daily here, confirmed, especially with this candle of exhaustion as well. So could possibly, if we don't find support here, start trading towards 34, mid 34s, and the lows down here around 33.70. But if we look at the Australian dollar as well, similar things. So yeah, demand in these currencies falling off doesn't really give me a good feeling about risk in terms of continuation. We've got gold kind of finding support and holding this level. I'm not necessarily trading higher because we could potentially sell off here, this support level here, so, or resistance level. So gold up, I would expect it to be a decrease in risk and a sell-off on risk currencies. If we trade down, then I would expect more yielding assets like Bitcoin and stocks and shares to sort of get a boost in the flow of money coming out of gold and going into those assets as a basic. But yeah, interest rates going up is not good for the market, especially when we know that central banks are also selling off assets as well. So yeah, I think definitely needed this pullback. I shouldn't have been holding like, what was it, like 8% profit and not taking any and just leaving all that risk on the table. That was my bad. But yeah, mistakes, man. You get greedy and then you continue on and you move. So I don't know what else I need to say other than that. I'm going to end it here. If you watched, thank you, appreciate you. Call tomorrow. Peace and love.